What 4 months make in terms of giving that green light for innovation to actually happen. You're going to hear me say a lot, the train has left the station. So, thank you. Bitcoin is here to stay. Blockchain is here to stay. And, the unfortunate part about government traditionally, it doesn't lead, it follows. And a lot of it is because you don't have a lot of the kind of the subject matter experts who are literally coming into government. And so that's why the fact that this administration has taken the lead to form these task forces to actually bring business and the expertise into those conversations, we're literally playing catch up from the last 10 years where things didn't happen. Now things are happening. And the fact that there's now this momentum that clarity is going to happen now for the very first time. That's good.
Hey, what's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. It is time to buckle up because today's news is shaking up the market like never before. Imagine this: XRP is teetering on the edge. Will it crash again or hold strong? Trump's media group just dropped a bombshell, flipping their stance with a massive $2.5 billion Bitcoin raise. And Japan's losing its crown as the world's top creditor after 34 years. And Sharplink Gaming is diving headfirst into Ethereum with a $425 million treasury move. Why does this matter? Well, these stories aren't just headlines. They're signals of where money is flowing and where the next big opportunity might be. The crypto world moves fast, and if you're not paying attention, you could miss the next big breakout or worse, get caught in a dip. Stick with me as we break it all down for you in plain English so you can stay ahead of the game. And here's the kicker as a bonus, and I'm going to be showing you how to grab our free ebook, Altcoin Secrets, which could give you an edge in this wild market. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in finance today. And we will also be heading over to Forex Factory to find out all the red folder news that you need to know about coming up this week. Plus, we will be checking out XRP in the charts. We're going to look for our most important support and resistance we need to pay attention to over the next couple of days. We'll also be looking at our long-term and short-term momentum waves. We will deep dive into Trump's media group confirming that they're going to buy $2.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And most important of all, in my personal opinion, is XRP's price going to crash again? But first, let's head to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. We do have a 3.44 trillion total market cap for all of crypto, $123 billion worth of trading volume in the last 24 hours. As you can see here from the 30-day chart, we have been moving up nicely. Couldn't quite make it up to that $3.6 trillion level, rejected at that 3.5, did a slight dip under 3.4, retested off that, and has been moving up nicely. We are currently in the Bitcoin conference. Will that be a catalyst for a pump above $3.6 trillion for total market cap? Subscribe today and we'll continue to follow along with this every day. Fear and Greed Index continues to chug along at the nice greed level. It has not gotten into extreme greed or back to neutral. Currently sitting at 68. Yesterday was a 69. Last week was a 68. Altcoin season still flashing full on Bitcoin season, 24 out of 100. And that's because Bitcoin dominance still holding strong at 63%. The opening of today's market already up $9 million as far as Bitcoin ETF inflow. But when we take a look at what happened yesterday, only $25 million inflow. So that is not very good. Our volume on ETF inflows is definitely declining this week. As you can see on the 30 days, it is still all above the zero line, which is positive. So it is inflows, not outflows just yet. But when we take a look at the 1 year, the last 5 weeks have been absolutely amazing as far as inflows into ETF. This week, starting off lackluster, 2 days reporting only 35 million in inflows, considering last week was $2.7 billion. And as you know, I like to pay close attention to the ETF inflows and outflows because they are leading indicators of where price could be going. Checking in on the top 5 cryptos by total market cap. Number 1 is Bitcoin, over 2.1 trillion at 108,000, almost $109,000 right now. Ethereum at number 2 at $2,653. Tether number 3 at $1. XRP coming in at $2.31, currently sitting at number 4. BNB at number 5, $688, and Solana at number 6, $176. Now, we can see that this has been a constant battle back and forth recently with BNB and Solana. Solana only trailing by $5 billion right now. Heading over to Forex Factory, important news that you need to know about this week. So Monday, Tuesday is done. There was no red folder news, but tomorrow, really big data coming out. The FOMC meeting minutes, that is going to be the Federal Reserve meeting, finding out, are they going to be raising rates? Are they going to be holding rates steady? Are they going to be lowering rates? We'll find out what they said in those meetings. And then on Thursday, we got the preliminary GDP quarter over quarter coming out. That's a very important number. And as you know, it's been following along with me on this segment of this channel. The Thursday unemployment claims is always an indicator of where Bitcoin could go. If this is really good numbers, Bitcoin pumps. If this is bad numbers, Bitcoin could see that pullback, which we are also starting to potentially see in the ETF numbers as well. Then Friday, we're going to have core PCE price index month over month. I will keep you updated when the numbers do come out. Heading over to X to find out what is happening, what's breaking, what's moving the markets in the news. First and foremost, this just came out. Trump says Canada is considering his Golden Dome system offer to become the 51st state of the United States.
We just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now.
This is absolutely mind-boggling. No one thought this was real when he floated this at first, but it's becoming a potential reality. Canada becoming part of the United States. He says here, I told Canada, which very much wants to be part of our fabulous Golden Dome system. If you're not aware, the Golden Dome system is going to be like the Iron Dome in Israel. It'll protect the United States with missiles and all this different types of technology to prevent us from being attacked. And that it will cost them $61 billion if they remain separate. So if Canada remains its own country, they can buy it. That's totally fine. They're going to have to pay $61 billion, but they will remain if they're a separate but unequal nation. But it will cost them $0 if they become our cherished 51st state, and they're considering the offer. So obviously, Trump loves to blow hard and talk some amazing, crazy stuff sometimes. But with this, they're considering the offer. Canada has not come out to deny that yet, which blows my mind as well. So this is potentially a reality for the United States to acquire all of Canada. Let me know down in the comment section if you think this is going to be a reality. Yes, Canada, no, Canada, let me know down below. And at the Bitcoin conference, Vivek Ramaswamy, he's claiming that if he's governor of Ohio, he will integrate financial literacy into our public education and include education on Bitcoin. This is really important. When I was in high school, my senior year, during my history class, the first 10 minutes, we did this stock challenge, right? Where the teacher would bring in the newspapers, we would open up the newspaper, we'd pick the stocks, and we would all compete against each other as a class, whose stocks were doing better, this, that, and the other. I don't remember I remember Coca-Cola was one of the stocks I picked way back then. I wish I would have actually bought it, but I was in high school, so I couldn't. But that was literally the extent of financial education at my high school in Southern California, Orange County as well. But we were never taught anything about taxes, about real estate, about investing, about anything except for a little stock picking challenge in a history class. So this, in my opinion, would be very big for our country. As you all know, you are smart. You're a genius. That's why you're here watching this channel, and you are involved in investing and in finance. And most people, it's just a complete foreign language and scares the crap out of them. So I think this is a really big move.
Because every kid is participating in it with real skin in the game. So what can a governor do to help lead the way to that vision where every kid is able to participate in the magic of American capitalism and compounding, to not be spiteful towards the successful by being successful instead? One of the things I will do is I will lead Ohio to be the first and top state in the country to integrate financial literacy into our public education that includes the power of compounding, including education about Bitcoin as an asset class that every young person ought to be aware of as they make those financial decisions.
So I think more governors currently existing should put this into their financial education. As you know, Trump is trying to end the Department of Education and send all of education back to the states. So the governors would have power to be able to put this into the curriculum. Now, as you heard in the intro as well, Japan loses its spot as the world's top creditor for the first time in 34 years per their finance ministry. And this shift challenges Japan's long-standing fiscal dominance, occurring amidst domestic economic pressures like weak demand and trade barriers. while Germany's export-driven growth highlights how currency valuation and trade surplus reshape global creditor. And Japan lost its title as the top creditor to Germany after 34 years, as reported by the Ministry of Finance. It reflects a shift driven by Germany's 248 billion euro current account surplus in 2024 compared to Japan's 180 billion euro, with the euro's 5% appreciation against the yen amplifying the change. So this is interesting. If you're here and you're watching this channel, you must be interested in finance in some capacity. So you're starting to see the reality. Remember when people used to say crypto is going to change the world, Bitcoin is going to change the world? Well, blockchain technology is changing the world, and it's happening right in front. We are literally watching it take place. Now, some people are watching from the sidelines and they have no idea what's happening, and you're probably telling all your friends, you should, not financial advice, by the way, do not buy or sell anything we talk about this channel. But you're probably telling your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, your friends, hey, you should probably own some Bitcoin. Maybe you should buy some XRP. Hey, you should buy some Solana. You're probably telling them that they should do these things, position themselves, because in the future, blockchain is going to run all of finance, and they do need to be a part of it. And just in, the first move that I've seen on this level at all when it comes to Ethereum, but Sharplink Gaming raises $425 million to kick off an Ethereum treasury strategy. Most of the real-world asset tokens are built on Ethereum. Institutions are waking up, and this is interesting because you heard, obviously, all of these companies, MicroStrategy, MetaPlanet, Trump's media group, all of these people are buying Bitcoin as part of their treasury. Well, this company's going a different route. They think Ethereum is where it needs to be, and they're buying massive amounts, $450 million, just as a kickoff to their treasury strategy. As you saw in the very first intro of the video, former U.S. Treasurer Rosie Rios declares that Bitcoin is here to stay. The train has left the station. And that's what I'm talking about as far as people are not getting on board. They're not realizing that this financial shift is really happening in front of them. And a lot of people just are oblivious to it. They're actually like burying their head in sand. They don't even want to know that it's real. And speaking of taking those steps forward in this category, billionaire Jack Dorsey just announced that Square will now accept Bitcoin payments at all terminals. This is massive. So anywhere you shopped, where you've been able to check out at a store and then Square pops up as an option, whether maybe you're paying with your wallet, right? Your phone wallet, and you could pay with Apple Pay or Square or whatnot. Now you're going to be able to incorporate Bitcoin payments. And this is what I was talking about yesterday. And we watched that video from Draper saying that in the future, people are not going to be buying Bitcoin to buy it, to hold it so it goes up and then you sell it and then you make more fiat dollars and you're making USD off of your gains. But instead, you're just going to hold Bitcoin and use it for everything. You want to buy a water at the store? I'm just going to use Bitcoin. You want to buy your next round of golf? Just use Bitcoin. That is where we're going. And that is definitely a potential where we are shifting off the US dollar into Bitcoin as a whole. And as you know, United States is trying to be a leader. Senator Loomis declares America needs at least 5% of the world's Bitcoin in its reserves. The Bitcoin bill heads to Congress. 2025 is shaping up to be historic for Bitcoin.
Arab Emirates purchasing Bitcoin through American exchange traded funds. That's good for America because they're going to build their sovereign wealth in Bitcoin through an American ETF. We have the Czech Republic investigating through its central bank, adding Bitcoin to its diversified asset allocation. So it's happening all over the world. The United States often has led through the states. It's leading again through the states. But it's important that our government include among its strategic assets, Bitcoin as digital gold. We have about 5% of the world's gold in the United States in reserve. We need to have at least 5% of the world's Bitcoin in reserve.
So there's a lot of people talking about America's going to sell its gold to buy Bitcoin, but they don't really need to do that. As you saw in the article I read a couple of days ago, where the United States Federal Reserve combination partnership could literally just print money and buy as much Bitcoin as they wanted. Now in the short term, it could be a little scary because it could inflate the United States dollar and also artificially inflate the price of Bitcoin. But over time, that would end up settling. What I made the case for, if the United States is going to print money and deflate all of our currency and inflate everything in the United States to where everything would be basically unaffordable, they need to be doing some sort of stimulus checks of Bitcoin, right? Everyone, if America's really moving towards Bitcoin as its currency, they should give everyone a Bitcoin wallet and they should fund it with however much Bitcoin. I don't know. You'd let me know down in the comments. Do you think one Bitcoin, with all the crap we've been through, all the stuff that's coming out, all the scams and all the fraud, everything I think we deserve one full Bitcoin to get this thing kicked off. Also, bullish news, Thailand let tourists spend crypto via credit card and plans major financial reforms to unify traditional and digital asset markets. So here you go again, another country getting on board with crypto, and they're wanting, because look, if transactions are happening in their country with crypto and crypto continues to go up, a rising tide raises all boats. But if you're not in any of the boats around, you're going to be sunk under the water. So you need to have some crypto in your country. You need to have access to it, and you need to have your citizenry have access to it. So all this crazy bullish news for Bitcoin. However, there is one crazy, interesting, lurking black swan event that could really change Bitcoin for the bad. And that is, interestingly enough, Michael Saylor, the guy who's creating this excitement about every company should own Bitcoin in the treasury. Well, this gentleman, Mitchell, asked Michael Saylor if MicroStrategy had plans to publish on-chain proof of reserves. Now, we do know right now that there are people getting kidnapped, killed, murdered, tortured for information about their Bitcoin wallets and extracting their funds from them. Very scary stuff for individuals. Now, companies also, we saw Coinbase is not Coinbase, they didn't mention who it was, but there was a major United States central exchange employee's family member attempted to kidnap in Paris recently, if you saw that. So I can understand the security side behind that, but there's a lot of companies that are already publishing all of their reserves, but MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, does not want to do it. Take a listen.
Does Strategy have any plans to publish their on-chain proof of reserves?
Yeah, proof of reserve. It's an interesting thing. Let me make the following point. A lot of people learn stuff from FTS but not GOS, but I'm not sure they learned the things that the institutional community needs to learn going forward. The way the current conventional way to publish proof of reserves is an insecure proof of reserves. It actually dilutes the security of the issuer, the custodians, the exchanges, and the investors. It's not a good idea. It's a bad idea. It's like publishing the address and the bank accounts of all your kids and your phone numbers of all your kids, and then thinking somehow that makes your family better. It doesn't make your family better. So no institutional grade or enterprise security analyst would think it's a good idea to publish all of the wallet addresses such that you can be traced back and forth, and every future transaction will be traced. I would say go to the AI, put it in deep think mode, and then ask it, what are the security problems of publishing your wallet addresses?
And Whale Panda says, talking about a major red flag, he compares it to publishing bank accounts and phone numbers. The whole point of Bitcoin is its transparency. So what do you think down below? Could this be a really, really bad potential? Like, does he hold the actual Bitcoin that he says he holds? Does he hold paper Bitcoin, as a lot of people claim? Does he own IOUs of Bitcoin? Is that why when he buys billions and billions and billions worth of Bitcoin, price doesn't actually move at all? Let me know your comments down below. Breaking: SEC's crypto task force met with NASDAQ and DeFi builders to talk tokenized securities. Wall Street is cooking something big with crypto. Imagine this: real world asset ETFs, real estate on chain, bonds and treasuries on capital rails. Trillions are coming for real world asset token. Now, we talked about Michael Saylor's potential black swan. BlackRock also talking about a black swan, but can we really trust BlackRock? But here's what they are saying. BlackRock issues a rare warning about the quantum computing threat to Bitcoin in their latest iShares Bitcoin trust filing. The world's largest asset manager warns quantum tech could undermine the viability of Bitcoin's cryptographic systems. So as you all know, or you may or may not know, all of Bitcoin's keys have been published in the public forum before. So if you had all of the keys And then all of a sudden you had a quantum computer that could run all of those keys to find out and break people's wallets. If Michael Saylor's wallet was public, they could go in there and try to break open his wallet, steal his Bitcoin. You see where he may be right by keeping it private, but at the same time, you know what I'm saying. So crazy stuff. Quantum computing is coming. I just recently saw a video about quantum computing that China is currently mining the moon for helium-3 because it will be able to cool the quantum computers to a level that they could actually use quantum computing at scale. All right, before we head over to the charts, fast forward if you're wanting to go see what we got going on in the charting, that's totally fine. But is XRP price going to crash? Currently, XRP price risks a possible 16% plunge to the $1.96 if the support at 231 provided by the 200 SMA does not hold. So there are some bearish signs starting to come up in the data for XRP, especially in the derivatives markets. One of the clearest signs that there could be trouble for XRP is the presence of neutral funding rates and decreasing open interest in its funding markets. XRP funding rates have hovered around 0% since February, indicating that the traders are ambivalent. And this could lead to continued price consolidation or sideways movement as the market lacks a clear catalyst for a breakout. Meanwhile, XRP's open interest in the futures market has dropped to 3.2 billion, down 9.6% from its 3-month peak of 3.52 billion back on May 13th. And as you can see here, the declining arrow and the declining open interest. Investors are de-risking from XRP. XRP exchange traded funds, or ETPs, posted the largest weekly outflow of 37.2 million, breaking an impressive 80-week inflow streak. And this brought month-to-month data flows to 28.6 million. And as you guys saw in the beginning when I was talking about the ETF inflows into Bitcoin, they're starting to drop off as well. But this is to the negative side. As we talked about, Bitcoin is still above the zero line. This is below the zero line. The week flows are $37.2 million down, and the month flows are 28.6 million. Now, as you can see, almost all of the other coins are still continuing to have positive inflows, but unfortunately, XRP over the last month and week are out. This indicates a decreased institutional appetite for XRP investment products, a negative catalyst for the XRP price. Also, a descending triangle pattern has formed. A sharp uptrend is seen as a bearish reversal indicator. As a rule, the pattern resolves when the price breaks below the flat support level and falls by as much as the triangle's maximum height. So as you can see here in the picture, the maximum height level would be here. And then when you transition this arrow to the bottom breakout below the line, it brings us all the way down to $1.96, which actually, when we take a look at the charts, is a very key level of support, even according to our weekly spider lines that we've been using consistently for support and resistance. Trump's media group reverses stance and confirms its $2.5 billion capital raise. If you remember, just yesterday, they came out and denied this completely because there was a leak that this was going to be happening. Trump's media group came out and said, no, we're not going to be doing that. And then today they completely reversed. According to Devin Nunes, he says, we view Bitcoin as an apex instrument of financial freedom, and now Trump media will hold cryptocurrency as a crucial part of our assets. This investment will help defend our company against harassment and discrimination by financial institutions. Trump's media group spokesperson responded to the initial report from the Financial Times published a day before the announcement with derision, saying, apparently, the Financial Times has dumb writers listening to even dumber sources. Literally the day before the truth does come out, though. And then the shares for TMTG sank following the $2.5 billion capital raise announcement. So interesting times right now. These companies raising money to fund their Bitcoin purchases to hold as a treasure. All right, let's jump into the XRP charts and take a look. So currently trading at $2.31. As we've been talking about the last couple of days, price did push up into our previous weekly high. So this was our most recent lowest high, right? So this was the ultimate highest high right here as far as body close, the lower high, and then another lower high. We're looking at bodies closed here, which is the important level, not the spikes, okay? So price did try to push up here on the weekly charts 2 weeks ago, and it rejected. Last week's candle also tried to surge above it and rejected again. And this week's candle has not pushed to the upside. We are still trending above the 10 exponential moving average on the weekly charts, which is very, very positive. If we break below that, we were talking about this the other day, we break that level, our next level of support is right here at $2.25. And if we were to lose that level, we do have a little bit of a safety net here at the 30 exponential moving average coming in currently at $2.07, but ultimately returning back to this support level. Now, the report that we read a couple of minutes ago says $1.96, but the reality is the support level is here at $1.91. And this support level comes back to us from the week of January 16th of 2018, the downslide of XRP's price of 2017, and then the actual breakdown in 2018. When you use the pivot point of the high of April of 2021, it gives you support and resistance levels into the future. So January 15th, January 22nd, January 29th, February 5th, etc. It gives you areas of interest that have been very key levels of support and resistance. So as you can see, this one right here coming to us from January 15th, 2018. Then we go up here, which is where we're about to collide with right now, this $2.30 level, $2.25, 26 cent right here. This one comes to us from January 22nd, 2018.
Most people that are interested in crypto trading don't have the time to manage their entries and stop losses, so they invest with emotion, and that's why they lose. So we have a powerful way for you to make money by directly copying our trades and other successful crypto traders. And copy trading is one of the easiest and most popular ways to make money in crypto. Copying other traders that had more experience than me is how I became a crypto millionaire before 30 when I was new to the industry back in 2016, but I had to manually enter the trades myself, which was super stressful because I didn't understand how to properly set up stop losses or take profits back then. So I ended up missing great entry points or holding longer than I should have, losing out on potential profits. That's why leveraging a copy trading platform that does this for you is the best way to go. And how it works is the exchange will put in the orders for you when you copy another experienced trader. That way you don't have to manually follow the trade alerts or enter or exit trade positions sitting at a computer all day long. And it's very easy to get started with too. All you have to do is go to the link in the description below this video and create your free account, deposit any crypto asset that is listed on the platform, and then choose which trader you like to copy that has the best win rate. And full disclaimer, because we believe in transparency, we do earn a small commission for every trade that you make on the exchange, but that helps support videos like this to help you succeed. And you could also get exclusive access to our top altcoin picks and breaking crypto news updates as well inside of our Telegram group through the link below this video. So check that out. I know you're going to love it.
And then the one that we just recently rejected off of up here at $2.50, well, that one comes to us from January 29th. So we're going to continue using these. They've been very spot on as far as support and resistance goes. This is the weekly charts. So what do we have right now? Most important level of support right now, $2.25. If we lose that, $2.07. Then if we lose that, coming back down to $1.91. So that's to the downside. Now, positive, optimistic. Looking forward, we have this level right here, $2.43. In my personal opinion, the most important level that we need to break is this level, creating a new closed body candle higher high. That will be fantastic for us. And then continuing, bursting through this 250 level, and then getting us all the way up here, this $2.80 level. And that's the green candle that comes from February 5th, 2018. Switching to the daily charts, we have the same price levels here, but as we can see, all of our exponential moving averages that I use frequently are starting to collide. We have the 10, the 30, and the 50 exponential moving average compressing right now. The new daily candle has just officially kicked off. As I'm recording this video, when you're watching it, it will be different. But as we can see, our short-term momentum wave has flattened out to zero, has not even started its turn to the upside. We are waiting for that momentum to kick in, and then our short-term shaft trend cycle to continue to the upside to the 100 level. Right now we're at zero, and then when it moves back up to the 100. Last time it was at zero, which was here, price was at $2.13. When it reached its 100 level, which was here, price had gotten up to $2.63. So a 50-cent move. We're looking for that same thing right now. Bullish catalyst in the market needs to be apparent. Open interest needs to come back in, and investors' sentiment needs to turn positive for XRP specifically. Then we can make this move to the upside and break that level we were just talking about, $2.43, create a new higher high, which would be fantastic. Now on the daily charts, as you can see right here, we had a new higher high compared to this one But this level right here is still the new higher high that we need to break. On these types of charting scenarios, though, I do prefer to use the weekly charts. It's much more robust. It does take weeks to months for those moves to happen, unfortunately, but you can basically day trade off of the daily candles. You're swing trading when you're coming into the weekly candles. As we can see here on the long-term momentum on our 12-hour, we have just flipped bearish, which is unfortunate. That is barely bearish though. So that could make a quick and easy return to the upside. As we can see right here, last time the 12-hour flipped bearish was here, and that was right before that 50-cent move to the upside as well. So what I'm watching right now, the most important thing, price has to break above the 10 exponential moving average, $2.35 with a green closed body candle, and then a continuation candle breaking above the $2.43 level, giving us that new higher high on the weekly charts, then moving back to 250. And then really what I'm really excited about is this spider line up here at $2.85.